Yeah, I don't have like a bit to start or anything. Back to
Twelfth night.
back to the Bard.
1, 2, 3
Shakespeare.
o'clock, 12th night. 4, 5, 7 o'clock, 12th night.
Yeah, that'll be the start.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that should be the start every time now. I think you
Yeah, it probably should be.
You really got to hope you don't do like the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford or something like that.
Oh god, that'll take up most of the runs.
That's next month actually.
Yeah. As you guys know, I don't know how to start the show yet, so it'll either be whatever we keep from that. Probably Voss singing 12th night.
That's the name. Yeah.
Or something along the lines of, welcome late to the movies. My name is Ben Holton. This is a podcast where my friends and I get to fill in our movie blind spots. Each week, we'll pick a movie that either I or a guest hadn't seen before and really should have by now. This week, continuing our month-long look at teen movies adapted from classic literature, not named adolescent adaptations. That was the second suggestion. Not named bad Cliff's Notes month. That was another suggestion. It's still teen movies adapted from classic literature. We're back to the Bard this week. We're tackling another Shakespeare, this one, Twelfth Night. The movie, 2006's She's the Man. My guest, your guest, everyone's guest. Left or right across your podcast style. We got Vaz.
I hate my life, Ben.
Yeah. We got Sam.
Hello.
We got Bree.
Hello.
Is that a reference to the movie? This is the first time we'll talk about Amanda Bynes or Channing Tatum or David Cross, I guess. He's not really into that much.
And Fickman, the director.
Yeah, we never talked about him before.
Did we do Airplane for Julie Haggerty, is it?
No, we haven't done Julie Haggerty.
Amanda Crew, first movie for her.
Oh, yeah.
Because we haven't done Sex Drive or the entirety of Silicon Valley, and I'm pretty sure that's all she's ever done.
She was in Hairspray. Or no, she wasn't. Never mind. I'm on Amanda Bynes wiki.
Was in Hairspray.
I was on her wiki.
Oh, yeah. What's the lady's name? The mom?
Oh, I really liked her.
Isn't it Julie Haggerty?
Yeah, Julie Haggerty.
Yeah.
She's in one really good episode of New Girl.
True.
She's in Marriage Story. She's good at Marriage Story. Small part.
She's in Airplane pretty prominently.
Right, yes.
The Illyria coach was like the dad of the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Oh, yeah, he's also in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
He's also the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah.
No, those are... Wait. I thought you were saying the coach of Cornwall was the guy from Sweet Life. It's Vinnie Jones is the dad in Sweet Life?
Oh, no. It was Cornwall. That's my bad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She was talking
I don't know
about
anything
that.
about
Yeah,
that.
You guys
Cornwall.
talk about Vinnie Jones. I
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
We're talking about
sorry.
Vinnie Jones.
I know both
Cornwall.
the coaches now.
Yep.
She's the man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a line. I'm not just saying he's the Juggernaut, bitch. I'm not. He calls Elliot Page bitch, I guess, in X-Men: The Last Stand.
Yep.
It was a whole thing. It was this year, I think. It was also 2006. Anyway,
Big year for Vinnie Jones.
big year for Vinnie Jones. Big year for Channing Tatum. Step Up comes out like 5 months after this.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I would have thought Step Up would have been first.
Nope.
Good for
This is still pre-famous. He's been in a number of things before then, but Step Up's when.
Yeah, he was just handsome
he
at this point.
steps up.
He had Coach Carter.
Yeah, Coach Carter. Mostly jocks and stuff. But we'll talk about that when we're talking about the movie, which we're not yet, because we're going to talk about what have you guys been watching lately?
I feel like we're all going to bring up the same thing.
Yeah, we've watched
There's a few
lot.
things that could be.
We should probably off the top talk about I think what is it? I think you should leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you watched it
Oh,
yet?
yeah.
We watched all but one episode yesterday. Like we fell asleep.
That's
right
the
before
episode I
last
have all
one.
the memes from in my phone.
We did not. We should have watched that this morning. I
We
forgot.
showed up. I completely forgot.
15 minutes away.
Yeah, there's all the episodes are between 14 and 16 minutes long. So.
We were very punchy last night trying to get through it. Like I think that last episode we both fell asleep at different parts, just trying to keep each other awake. Like we gotta finish it.
It wasn't even that late. But yeah, we still need the very last episode of the third season.
Yeah, but it's a lot. It's very weird. It's probably not as weird as the second season was.
We did
but
watch that one.
Yeah.
I still think the first season's my favorite, but they're all good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as weird. I think it's remains consistent, which is tough for sketch, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So good. Only Patty Harrison's only like in one bit this season.
Yeah.
But still, it's still good.
Yeah, I still very much like it. My biggest problem was that I watched it all in one night, so it all just kind of blurred together. I do want to like spread it out in the future, and I will probably rewatch them all. So yeah,
Yeah, they're real rewatchable. It's still good. I don't know. It's just so consistent. You can tell why it didn't work on SNL. It's just like they didn't get it.
He also takes an extremely chaotic approach to ending skits, where like a lot of problems with sketch comedy is it's hard to end skits. Like it's hard to, you have the thing that's going that's making it funny, and then you have to stick the landing. He doesn't really bother half the time. Half the time he's just like, okay,
It's
that's
just
it.
over. Yeah.
Next one, see ya. Black screen.
There's like no resolution in so many of
It
them.
just cuts to baby, 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 and then it's fine.
We rewatched all of the Austin Powers movies.
Yep.
Those were honestly really good. The first one was better than the other two. The third one was better than the second one, but I thought all of them were good.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised how much I didn't like the second one.
I rewatched those not too long ago.
Great.
No.
I didn't care for the second one.
I didn't really like Heather Graham. I think of all the lady partners, I think she was the weakest.
I do like the Hollywood stuff in 3. I like that a lot.
Yeah. One got done, and I was just like, this is great. I was just like, how can anybody tool on this movie? And then like 2 came out, and like, I see, because the legacy just became doing a lot of skits and weird stuff.
One's a lot smarter than you remember.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because of how dumb
the other 2
two
were.
is. And that's what is kind of stuck with people, I think. I had the same experience
He had a formula
a year or so ago when I rewatched.
Yeah, he had like a whole formulated idea for 1, and then 2 and 3 felt like not cash grabs, but just kind of like people are clamoring. Let's,
Yeah.
you know.
And they do continue a lot of bits from 1 into 2 and 3.
I think 2 would have been better if losing his mojo like made him like meek and like nerdy instead of just not being able to get an erection.
Yep.
Yeah, because he stayed the same.
So
pretty
weird.
He stayed
much.
exactly
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah,
It
he
didn't
was the
impede
same.
him like at all.
I don't think you guys have been on since Barry and Succession ended,
I don't think so.
or since Ted Lasso ended.
So I have not. We have not watched Ted Lasso's new season at all.
I probably
Same.
won't, honestly.
I finally heard one person that liked it. So there's that.
Oh, I heard one person who liked it, but this guy also likes everything. So
Poor Colin. Hope Colin's on.
it was not Colin.
But yeah, Bree is still in season 2 of Succession, so I don't want to talk spoilers. I
No,
will say
yeah, of course.
spoiler free. I really liked the ending of Succession.
Same.
I like the whole last season too.
Yeah, the whole last season was good.
They're
I still
good.
probably like season 2 the most, but they're all the seasons are good. Like we just rewatched season 1 together, and it was better than I even remembered it being. So I'm very excited to keep rewatching it. And Barry, I liked. Ben, you said you didn't really like it. I think.
It's not that I didn't like it. It's just like, maybe that was a lot to fit into one season.
Yeah. Also, not a ton of final say for Stephen Root's character.
No.
Like,
It just kind of ends.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of the ideas in like the last season, and especially in like the last episode. How they were executed were kind of meh, and there's some like character stuff like
I think that's fair.
Janet Moss's dad kind of just like like he goes after Kusino, but he just leaves Barry behind as though like whatever Barry did was, I guess he just completely bought that Barry would just manipulate it or whatever. I don't know. That seems out of character for him.
Yeah, seems like he was a better cop than that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He
Like,
just became a very bad
evidence based, like if you go through it, like I can see how like he is very like he was emotionally driven for a lot, but then like as a cop I can see him like shifting to Kusino because especially because he was really shifty the entire time. Like Kusino just couldn't stop being like him no matter what they suggested of him, so that already looked really suspicious.
It's fine. There's just like a lot of choices. There were still some like funny moments for sure, and there's still like some interesting ideas, no doubt.
The Fred Armisen stuff was probably, I know that wasn't the final episode, but that was probably the funniest thing, one of the funniest things that's happened in that whole show.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That might be one of my favorites. Yeah.
It just became very unpleasant for the last
Yeah.
couple seasons.
yeah, it certainly wasn't a fun show.
No.
Might be my favorite show though. I think it beats out Hannibal.
The Cannibal?
And Hannibal was my favorite for a long time.
No, the Hannibal Buress show.
Oh,
Short-lived,
yeah.
like-
It was a Broad City spinoff. He's a
Oh,
dentist.
good. I like that.
Can we bring up one more? Because I think it's a really.
This is the one that I thought we were gonna bring up.
Yeah, exactly.
Spider-Man, right?
Yes, the Spider-Verse across the.
Okay, this will actually make the cut. So yeah, let's talk about Across the Spider-Verse.
Holy shit! What a good fucking movie.
Yeah, it's good.
It's probably my favorite animated movie now.
I really liked it. I thought it was fantastic animation-wise. I think it's leagues above like whatever anyone else has been doing.
Probably the best actually animated movie I've seen.
It beat its predecessor. Like I didn't think anything could beat Into the Spider-Verse, and its own sequel beat it.
I think story-wise, I still prefer the original.
Same. I still prefer the original too, just in general.
Yeah. Overall, I would still prefer the original, but I thought this was awesome.
I think I like 2 more, but I will admit I've been meaning to rewatch 1, and I kind of wouldn't mind watching them back to back and kind of see how I feel about both of them.
Well, one's just I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted about some stuff with the second one that amounts to like really splitting hairs, just because we're talking about like 2 movies that I think are like both 5-star movies.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I have seen the movie twice now, Across the Spider-Verse. I saw it I saw it on Monday in IMAX, and then I'm with my brother on Friday.
Oh, okay.
It's not like a big issue because I still love this movie, but I think the only like the things that are making me like the original more than this one is largely due to the pacing stuff, which is fine. It's more like the movie like has 2 first acts. It kind of has. It doesn't have an ending, but it has like 3 different endings.
So I think that there is a couple arcs that do complete with Gwen and her dad and Miles and his parents. So that actually is telling a complete story. And I am sympathetic to the idea that I had before I saw people making the argument online that it is sort of playing as an Empire Strikes Back kind of thing. But if you want to make that argument, that I think the ending setup for the next thing goes on too long.
Yes, because I on the second playthrough, on the second watch, I was like, oh, this is going like I know where it's going.
Because it's like, okay, because I guess a good question. Did you guys know that it's a part 1 going into it?
Yes.
Because a lot of people vocally in my theater did not know.
I almost audibly screamed because I just wanted it to keep going because like you said, the ending part went on for so long. I didn't realize it was supposed to be a continuation. I thought there was more movie. So I was like, what do you mean I have to wait another year?
I didn't know that there was an act 2. And they start to build towards the ending because you can start, the music swelling and stuff. And then like it was kind of hitting me like, oh, they're just... Yeah. To be continued. That's it. Like that's what we're getting. And then I was kind of fine with it because I realized it like 30 seconds before, and then I was kind of like, oh, this is gonna, never mind. I'm back in. Like I didn't know there was another movie coming out next year or anything. The animation is insane. Yeah, like if you haven't seen these movies because you don't care about Spider-Man, like I don't mean you have to go see it in. You don't need to go see it in theaters. It definitely helps, but like throw it on. Like just even if it's on Netflix or something, just get it in. Like, just take it in, rather.
She's the man.
She is the man.
She's the man I saw in theaters. I don't know if I've seen since, but I had seen it before in theaters. How about y'all?
First time.
First time.
Oh, really?
First time as of literally like last week or something, and then I rewatched it this morning.
Cool. Yeah, that's why we had to get this in before that. But I didn't realize it was first time for all of you. I
thought Bree saw it already, actually.
No, it had missed me completely. I have no idea how.
Cool.
It's definitely in my wheelhouse of movies.
I mean, it was like a modest success. It made more than its budget, but not by a ton. It was not critically loved, except generally consensus thought Amanda Bynes is good in it, but the movie itself wasn't super adored exactly. But I don't know. It was just one of those things that just hit at the right time for, I guess, people our age range. And, it comes up a lot when this category that we're doing this month, if you ever see a listicle, this is pretty much always on it in some sort of position of honor. So, okay. Well, besides me, then, who wants to do a 1-minute plot summary?
Me? You always
you do it.
All right, I'll do it.
Or unless Bree wants to do it.
Oh no, I'm good.
All right, start the clock.
Yep.
She's the titular. She's the man would be Amanda Bynes' character Viola, and she has a twin brother Sebastian, and they are going to a new school because her team got cut from the girls' team from her old school, which is the rival to her new school. And then just watch 12th Night, you'll get it. Yeah, so she goes, Channing Tatum's there and he's hot. And she's like, I got to be a boy to play soccer, but I really like Channing Tatum. And then Channing Tatum likes somebody else. And then that person likes Amanda Bynes, but only as a boy. And then a bunch of shenanigans happen. And then, I don't know, soccer happens. Then some weird soccer happens. And then somebody shows their penis to the crowd. And that's basically it.
Oh no! I'll take over.
Okay, yeah.
I'll finish it off.
Tag.
And then after the penis thing, someone shows their boobs to the crowd. And then they win the soccer game.
Yep.
And then they do the debutante ball.
Yeah, that's true.
And the movie.
Yep.
Yep. We've been talking. So this is the third one we're doing this month after 10 Things I Hate About You and Clueless, movies that are very much time capsules in their own right. My first thought watching this is like, 2006, we're all going to beach soccer parties.
Doing those still frames of like the little animations.
Yeah, that was like the first, I saw the beach soccer beginning and I'm like, you know how you just play beach soccer with all your friends? Like every time I go to the beach, I'm like, oh, I hope there's going to be a lot of girls in bikinis playing soccer.
Yeah, it didn't really happen in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, at least.
We're a football beach town.
Yeah, we're more of a football beach town. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, but as jokes aside, it is very 2006, even just like the art style on the stuff that's getting freeze framed through the opening. Very much, kind of late MTV when there's like kind of still playing music for a little bit here. And then, aesthetically, the music throughout is all... I think her brother has, I counted at least 4 OAR posters in his bedroom.
He loves OAR a lot.
Not an exaggeration. There are at least 4 separate ones. There might have been more, and there is an OAR song playing at one point.
And he's like the music guy, and like I'm pretty sure that was the only like band I recognized on his walls.
It was kind of all over the place for somewhat. Like they never play his music, but I don't know if this person existed, but he had the 4 OAR posters, a Beck poster, a Yeah Yeah Yeahs poster. He was wearing a Violent Femmes t-shirt.
I remember the Violent Femmes.
And he had a Marilyn Manson poster over his bed. Which I don't know those are all necessarily the same guy.
I can't wait to do my back-to-back Yeah Yeah Yeahs Marilyn Manson concert. That's gonna
I don't think they've toured together.
Karen O's not a big fan.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, so we nerded an Amanda Bynes movie before. This obviously stars Amanda Bynes, sort of right in the middle if you're looking at her filmography. I don't know. What do we think about Amanda Bynes? Because it was a very big part of my TV watching growing up.
Yeah, same.
That's really the place to start would be. I mean, I'm like 6 years old watching like 9? I guess she's like 3 years older than us.
Yeah, she's very young, but she's on all that.
Yeah, so I'm watching her on all that when I'm like 7 and she's like 10.
Right.
I was telling Bree before, like the weird part for me is like I watched Amanda's show. It wasn't my favorite thing, but like I watched it because it was all over Nickelodeon when I was 12. Yeah,
I loved the Amanda show.
And I think the thing that was so weird to me was that she got that, was it like WB or CW show, What I Like About You? Right after that, where she's like, Mom, I'm dating boys or whatever. And like, I'm like 13 going, this is not the Amanda Bynes I said.
Yeah. And it was all of a sudden like very sterile because I feel like 90s Nickelodeon, everything was just really gross.
Yeah.
People were just like putting on horrible prosthetics and doing crazy accents, and like that was the joke.
Throwing weird liquids at each other.
Yeah, a lot of liquids and stuff. Probably a weird place to be in like a 9-year-old TV star.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, then she sort of successfully transitioned into teen movie star stuff. Big Fat Liar.
She's all that.
First movie. She's all that.
She's not, and she's all that.
Yeah, no, she's definitely She's all that.
Yeah, no, it is that one. She went to
that.
Britain.
That's the What a Girl
Fuller.
Wants. Yeah, that's one of my favorites from Amanda Bynes.
So she's the man. 2006. She's really good in Hairspray in a small role. In 2007, Sydney White, also 2007. Then 2010's Easy A. She's
her final performance.
Really good in a small role in that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's had some issues, but people have issues. It seems like she's a little better now. A couple months ago, she had an incident that she had to like flag down a bystander on the side of the road and get some help. But
her unfortunate psychotic break, I think, was bigger than Britney Spears' too. But like Britney Spears was just the bigger star, and with the issue like with her parents and with her shitty sister, like it just got way more press. But Amanda Bynes was going through it. Like that was awful to witness. Like I felt so bad, and she's doing better, but like because I think she's like on like better medications now. But like yeah, like literally in March I read she had like that psychotic break again. It's very sad.
Yeah, still only 37, so not, I think 5 years ago or something she said she wanted to get back into acting, but that hasn't panned out yet, obviously.
Yeah, and social media also was tough for her. Like, the Britney stuff, obviously social media existed in a lower form than it had when like Amanda Bynes went through it. So like Amanda Bynes was like literally on Twitter. Like she's going through it very, very publicly. But yeah, I would love to see her back. I think she has a very good shtick. I think she did really good in Easy A. I know you haven't done Easy A this isn't an Easy A episode, but
I also really liked her in she
she's got a shtick. She nails it.
Yeah, I was gonna say apparently this movie was really tough for her too, and she went into funk after seeing she didn't like how she looked as a guy in this movie, and that was tough for her too. But yeah. Upshot of that is I think she's really good in this movie.
Yeah.
She nails that like quirky, goofy girl thing without being obnoxious.
Yeah.
Because like I just don't like that. Like I don't like Zooey Deschanel, but like Amanda Bynes just does it well in a really endearing way.
Yeah. It's never quirky. It's just so weird.
Yeah,
her vibe.
It's goofy.
But it really works. I think tonally, she's as the lead character setting the tone for the tone of the movie, using tone in two different ways there. You'll figure it out. It's a farce. It's 12th Night. Because of the sort of elevated silliness that she's working at, it lets all of the supporting characters go up to 11, but it also sort of still meshes together well. Leaving Channing Tatum to kind of like underplay stuff, I guess. Which just seemed like not range at the time, but that's actually just something he's good at, it turns out, as he's, continued acting. I think she's really good in this. So plot wise,
she has soccer on the beach.
There's soccer on the beach. Immediately, it's 2 weeks until school starts. She's at Cornwall, and the girls' soccer team has gotten cut. And there's like a lot of logistical things, especially with soccer and with soccer programs, that like, yeah, that's like you're suspending your disbelief. I think it's actually handling soccer and the soccer scene's better than Ted Lasso does. But like, I don't know. If you have players that are being recruited to high Division I schools, you're probably not cutting that program.
No.
Because she's talking about like, well, I don't want to go to U of Michigan. I want to go to UNC Chapel Hill. It's like they win national championships every year. But that's whatever. And so the girls team gets cut. The girls want to try out for it's high school, the boys team. And her boyfriend, who is the goalie, it's very funny that he's a goalie because it's like, you can do better than a goalie. Come on.
That was my thought the whole movie.
Yeah, it is funny that he's a goalie.
Did they say that earlier? Because I only found out at the end when he was a goalie. I was like, oh, he was?
Well, he's just wearing like a different
uniform.
uniform in this early scene where he like doesn't stick up for her wanting to,
and he lies to her.
Yes, he's gaslighting her. Not cool. So she breaks up with him. Really quickly forms a plan after she goes home, and her brother's like escaping out of his
window with Zamp
to go to London. Their parents are separated, so they just tell the one parent that they're at the other parent's house. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
I do like the mom. I forgot her name. You brought it up.
Julie Haggerty.
Thank you. I really liked her performance in this. I feel like she was playing high too. And I also just like teen movies where the mom is just horny. That's always a good.
Was she horny in this movie?
Well,
she briefly considers dating Amanda Bynes' ex after she tells
like,
her
oh,
that's
right. Cute.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
She's so cute. Why don't you date him? She's like, oh no, I couldn't. Oh, by the way, fuck Hulu. You shouldn't have commercials on streaming services you pay for. And then I wrote, you can fast forward these commercials? That's stupid. And then I wrote, how can that possibly be profitable for Frito-Lay? And then I wrote, oh, we need to do game night. We should have a month that's like one crazy night themed.
Oh, there's
we can do
I can tell you about the Nightoverse.
The Nanoverse?
Nightoverse, rough night, date night, game night, probably a fourth one.
Yeah.
Game night is really good. Oh man,
The night comes for us.
A Knight's Tale. We watched on Hulu. We didn't get commercials.
we don't pay for commercials.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's why I didn't get commercials when I was watching
Oh,
it.
yeah. Because you watched it on my Hulu.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, someone already watched 4 minutes of this?
Well, just so you know, if you pay for the version of Hulu that doesn't have commercials, I watched it on the version that does, and you can just fast forward through the commercials.
Crap.
um, the guy, he goes out the window, and she immediately hatches a plan that's like, oh, I'm just going to be him. Do they ever explain, and I'm just saying, you know, I don't think it's a big thing, but I did wonder about it, and maybe I just missed it, why they go to different schools?
Yeah, because he has behavioral issues and
Yeah,
stuff like that,
he
so they
kept
sent
getting
him to a
transferred
prep
around.
school.
Yeah.
And that's why when she's in the dean's office,
has
his
a big
folder,
file.
File
yeah,
was giant. Yeah,
because he's a troubled kid.
yeah.
they have
He
a
just wants to
throw-
play
when-
music.
It seems like it's like a nicer school, though.
Yeah, it's a prep school.
Yeah, that's why they wear their uniforms. They have the ties. Remember ties?
Yeah. But if he's like a terrible student, then why is he?
Well, I think
We
it's
need to
to
pay for
like. No, I was
Oh,
gonna.
they're
I think
very
it is
rich, I
to
guess.
try to like because if you go to like a private school, you're supposed to have like better opportunities later. So like they figures like if you put him somewhere where like he has more supervision because he's like in a dorm and stuff that he'd excel, but they don't understand. He just wants to play his music.
Just wants to play his music. Okay. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't like bother me. It was definitely something I was.
You were
curious
counting
about.
OAR posters.
OAR posters at the time. Well, I didn't mean to at first, but I was like, wow, there's there's
Yeah.
3. Wait, there's 4 OAR posters? He's out of there. So she immediately goes to a guy who seems to be an adult that is like a kind of friend, but then ends up being like her best friend, who I think is supposed to be gay, but he seems like it's 2006, and that guy seems like.
But at the end of the movie, he's at the table next to one of
no.
Channing Tatum's.
I understand
Oh, okay.
that the
He's-
character
Yes.
is
He's 2006 gay, so
He's-
like he's not explicitly told.
Yeah.
I think he's supposed to be gay, but yeah, in that 2006, like we're not gonna say it, but we're
But
gonna
he's not-
insinuate.
He's not. He's also not acting super gay,
No,
which I
I'm
kind
saying
of
it's
like.
like,
kind
just
of
subtly
like
enough. Oh, yeah,
a
yeah.
straight guy's
Yes,
idea
yeah.
of
Yeah.
I mean, he works
'cause
at a
he
hair
had-
salon, which was cold back
yeah,
then. Of,
and
oh,
he has
he's-
like frosted tips.
yeah.
But you just get a straight actor to just be like, yes, I'm gay. Look at how horny I am for
Yeah.
men. Like in a flat voice. With
No, I'm not saying
no,
I,
but they didn't.
He's,
they
he's
didn't
not
overdo
horny
it.
for men.
Yeah.
Like the most we get it just at the end. Like
Yeah.
that's
Where
the
it
only time
seems
we're
like
like,
very
oh,
subtle,
he is
yeah.
gay.
they're part of the montage of when they're walking
Right.
at the debutante ball that like all these people are paired up now.
Mhm.
We'll get there though.
Yeah.
We need
There's
to
no
clear out
skipping ahead.
for we need to clear out for Eunice later. So yeah, there's a montage. She's practicing like dude mannerisms.
Yep.
It's just
Walking
it's just
around.
Amanda Bynes stuff.
Yeah.
Just a showcase. It's good. They don't go with any of the mustaches. The haircut they do go with kind of walks the line, and it's a comedy, so I think this is supposed to look goofy. But she does look like the guy that's playing her brother.
Yeah.
But she also looks like a sleep paralysis demon. There's just like something uncanny about it.
I think what the actual thing is that they did the makeup wrong. So like they have the contour in the wrong place, so it just kind of
Okay.
looks muddy. Yeah, the makeup was bad. Like when she's in like the costume, the makeup is really bad.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like she looks bad. I'm saying like the whole effect. There's there's definitely something that they're doing that is uncanny
It's the makeup.
on purpose.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That
the
makes
shading
sense
and
as
stuff is
something
wrong.
I wouldn't have recognized. Aside from going, there's something different here.
She's also a foot shorter. That's the thing that really gets me. That you
But
really have to suspend
I
your
will say
disbelief
in-
for.
She's like taller than some of the dudes.
No
though,
one
I'm
in that
sorry.
high school knows Sebastian.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if they haven't known.
But at the
nothing-
end.
But at the end,
Oh, that's a different thing. They never saw her out
Well,
on the
that should-
field before
There
playing
should
an
have
actual
been,
game.
he has like one side of his face is painted, so
but
Yeah, it's all
when
because
everyone
Olivia
goes
kisses
face
him,
blind.
when Olivia kisses him out of the taxi, does she not realize she has to like go on her tiptoes to kiss him? now?
Olivia,
she's on a high.
she's and he
Maybe
got
she's
out
on
of
the
a
curb.
Yeah, the curb. She's doing something she never thought she'd do before. Just kiss some guy.
It's fair. It's
Yes.
just really funny how like no one.
She's just high on adrenaline.
And it's also dark out.
It's dark out. I do
Yeah, you
like.
definitely can't
And she
recognize
also
height in the dark.
just immediately left after kissing him.
It is funny that the way she does it, she never looks at his face.
Yep.
Funny how that all works out. Anyway, so if you had to briefly describe the accent that Amanda Bynes is doing in this movie, what would you say?
Someone who watched Bill Engvall perform one time.
Because like I do appreciate that she's kind of makes a couple head fakes towards doing a deep voice thing a couple times. They don't overdo that in the movie. It's clear that she can't do a deep voice, like the character can't. So the character decides, I'm going to go weird Southern.
Yeah.
And it kind of comes in and out of a drawl. But it's just going to be, I can't sound like a man, so I'll just sound like no person who's ever existed.
Well, they're at the South, right? Because the whole debutante thing is a very Southern thing.
Yeah, that's true. They never, well, I don't know where Cornwall is.
I can tell you where it is in England.
I don't think.
And Illyria, some exotic locale, you know. Yeah, I think it just seems like pan-American kind of.
We're done.
Yeah. It's funny. I think it's good.
It's
Yeah.
very
I do
good,
too.
yes.
It just comes on really strong to a bunch of people.
I do also like I really like the scene, the exchange between Paul, her gay friend, and her when she's like first getting to school.
Oh, yeah.
And they have the like a back and forth and not wanting to do it, and then they go into the Beetle and they have like the back and forth there. I really liked all that.
One of the things that I feel like is a really common thing when like you have a girl that's dressed up as a guy in a movie, what is that walk that people think that guys do where it's like a semi like pimp walk thing? Like
One arm in
how
front
do
of
you how do you guys think men walk?
Yeah, it's just when you're not around.
Yeah.
I guess so, because it's every single time because that's a really easy trope to do in like an episode of a show or something. Every single time it's that weird walk.
Pimp My Ride was still on the air,
Yeah.
and I think that was just a big part of the culture back then.
We were doing
the
a
pants
lot.
were so low, we kind of had to keep reaching down.
It's just like I had one hand on my jinkos at all times
One hand
to keep from being arrested.
For me, it was just to block anyone from nut tapping me. So I was like keeping
That
my
was
arm.
a big
That's
problem.
valid.
That's a huge problem back
It was an
then.
epidemic.
You had to have like some sort of protection.
And if you swathed high enough, you could stop the purple nurples too, because
Oh,
you
yeah,
could
yeah.
kind of swing your hand up for like a little.
There's a whole science behind it,
Yeah.
honestly.
It's like a
And the
video
movie
game, you gotta
nailed
time it.
honestly.
Yep.
It's really a protective shell more than a
Yeah.
stylistic choice.
All right, I feel educated.
Yep. So all of these movies have like a getting dropped off on the first day of school thing. This one is chaotic. One thing that it does that I think is pretty unique is that there's a couple times that the music blends in, and we can use the terms diegetic and non-diegetic, but sometimes it's just the soundtrack, and then the marching band is playing the same song. And then later on, she sees someone like in their room playing a cello that's the same song that like matches up with the soundtrack. And that's just kind of weird. The whole thing's really hectic. And it's like a lot of energy in the hallways. She gets into her room. And of course, Channing Tatum. And introducing Channing Tatum, and he's not wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
Of course not.
And it's like it's been like 2006, so 17 years since then. Has he aged much?
No, and
Yeah,
it's
no,
glorious.
It was. I saw him like
He's
no,
bulked.
no, that's not how.
What helps is he's almost 30 in this movie, so that's why he doesn't look that much different.
He's bulked.
Yeah.
Like he's gotten like wider, but like he was very skinny in that movie, and he's just
Yeah,
gotten
but he's
bigger.
like ripped too.
Yeah.
No, yeah, he's
Yeah.
got washboard, but he was
Yeah.
skinny. But like
Oh,
you
yeah,
see
he
him
was.
now, and he's definitely
Yeah.
a lot wider.
Yeah, I think he's 26 here.
Yeah,
The producers were like, he's way too old to be in this. Amanda Bynes is like, people won't care. Trust me.
I want to kiss Channing Tatum.
Right,
Let me have
right, yeah.
this.
I had heard, I think like literally her argument was like, people are not going to care. Girls are going to appreciate him being in this movie. So, so yeah, it works. And I think Channing Tatum does have like some comedic chops even this early and clearly does at this point. They hadn't necessarily been uncovered at that point in time, but I think he's good in this.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He does feel a lot older than them.
He does.
Which is tough. So.
But he like I can see like his charisma in this, and it like he has a like a vulnerable side that you actually didn't see too much in those kind of movies.
Yeah,
and I think he like nails it.
One of the things that 12th Night and its adaptations does, and you know, there's been all male casts, all female casts, changing the genders of the characters. It's a huge tradition with 12th Night, is sort of like looking at gender roles and being transgressive and stuff. And so I think, like you're saying, this is pretty unique for movies like this at the time, that Channing Tatum's whole deal is he's actually like super shy and pretty sensitive. And they make like a kind of positive argument for male vulnerability, I guess, in this movie, where she like straight up tells him, like, the only reason I ended up liking you is because of all those times you were vulnerable. Which wasn't normally a message in these movies.
Yeah, pretty progressive for the time.
Yeah, and this is later in the movie, so I'm sorry for skipping, but there's a time where like Channing Tatum's like, oh, I really like this girl and everything, and he asks Amanda Bynes something about it, and she's like, whatever one's hotter, and he's like, no, don't do that.
It's like, how do you think she fucks or whatever PG way she says, and he's like, man, why do you talk about girls in such graphic terms?
Yeah.
Like, I love this.
Yeah. I wish I would have said that in 2006.
Yeah.
We're doing way ahead of the curve.
We should have saw it sooner.
Yeah, there you
Instead,
go.
we're going to watch No Country for Old Men.
Yeah. We did watch that together in 2007.
And go and see 300.
I did watch that in 2006.
In this room, there's a Sum 41 poster on the wall. Pour one out for a real one. They just announced their breakup again. There's also a Frank Lampard poster on the wall. He's probably just got fired again, right? Somewhere, wherever he got a job.
Brighton, surely.
All right, not a Chelsea fan. So this is also one of the things that I think like cultural image of this movie looms kind of large is the nosebleed tampon thing. But it's not actually that big a part of the movie.
No,
it's just
it
like
comes
a
up
line
once
here,
later.
and it comes up once later. But I feel like a lot of like if you see screenshots, it's like that.
Yeah, I agree. They should have had more tampons in this movie.
I hear
Good point, Ben.
I hear a lot of Gouda references to this. There was a lot of times because Gouda is my favorite cheese.
I mean, it's in the name.
A lot of times it is.
Isn't it?
There was a lot of times that like probably around the high school or college where I was like, oh, I love Gouda cheese, and then like some girl will be like, my favorite's Gouda, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Or like, oh, you too, and she's like, no, I'm fucking with you, it's a reference. So I'm like, oh, that makes me feel great about myself.
It's like, and all I have is getting references. And then as I forget what part of this scene it is, but it's the first time that Bill is in the dorm room. Is that they're playing a video game? The two guys that are there, the halfbacks that are there, Toby and the other guy, who ends up being like the Lance Bass to like Tropic Thunder, whatever. There's a Wilhelm scream that happens on the TV. And we always have to mention when there's a Wilhelm scream on this podcast.
They were playing like Crash, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like, the Crash Bandicoot?
I think they were.
That's what it looked like.
I was just so distracted by the Wilhelm scream. I was like,
But I think it is Crash on the screen. On the screen, yeah.
Then they're at their first soccer practice. Vinnie Jones, the Juggernaut comic bitch, is there. Also award-nominated and early Guy Ritchie. I said he's one of Guy Ritchie's signature odd men.
Yep.
He's an odd man. He's both Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch, I think.
Yes, both. Yeah.
He plays essentially a similar character in both.
Yeah, and it's like legit award nominated and award winning in those roles respectively. And then Violet, we should say she's Sebastian in this.
She's Sebastian for most of it.
She's Sebastian for most of it. That's her brother's name. I just don't know if we had said that yet.
Well, I don't know if when they brought up her name, but I felt like it took a while because I was like, I still don't know her name, like her real name.
Viola.
Yeah. I think they might say like towards the beginning.
They probably do. I'll probably just miss it.
Yeah, maybe.
I do think it was one of the first words in the movie.
Yeah.
When they were playing soccer on the beach.
I was just too distracted by soccer.
But you started where they had you were 4
Yeah,
minutes in.
Oh, true. Yeah, you would have missed it.
No, I did go back.
She ends up on the second string, which is disappointing for her. Then they have to take a shower. She's like, "Oh no!" But she immediately gets called to the principal's office, and that's David Cross's music.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He's in this. This movie comes out a month after Arrested Development ends for the first time. So I guess about as high as he gets in culture. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's like big movies? Like
he's
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I was gonna say he's like this level of part in a bunch of movies.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda. He's Crane.
Yeah.
Oh, true. I forgot about that.
I mean, Mr. Show's probably his legacy. Like, first line of obit is probably Arrested Development. Second line is probably Mr. Show.
Yeah.
If you're a certain type of person, then he is huge because of like XYZ.
Yep.
Yep. He plays a lot of these type characters too.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
It's not even like, oh, he plays this level of character. It's like he plays this character specifically.
I do really like him in this movie too, and that he that any other time you see him, he's doing some other different job.
Yep.
Yeah. His vibe is very Tobias Funke also throughout the movie.
What's the? I don't mean to skip ahead. What's the line that he says? Like right at the end where they're like, "Oh, where's Sebastian?" And he's just like, "Oh, I'm sure he's hightailing it because like he showed his like
willies and dingle Willie and Dingleberry or something like that."
Yeah, it's like halfway to Canada, but yeah, he's just good in this movie. Not a lot happens in this conversation, but whatever. They're at a school. He's welcoming her with a song.
Making direct eye contact, like 5 inches from her face.
It makes her sit in the dean's chair while he sits down at the
He's
table.
so weird in this movie.
Yeah, and then I think the next scene is in the cafeteria, and he's the one giving out
Yeah,
food.
he gives the food
It's not
to
even
her.
like later on.
And then he's like, the next guy is like, no, I'm not helping you.
Yeah. It's very good.
I do want to talk briefly about the cafeteria, just their food. Because she had like a bag of like Cracker Jacks, an apple juice, a Pepsi bottle, and I think that was it for her meal. And Channing Tatum was just eating an apple that he left behind and an empty bag of pretzels.
you don't get washboard abs by eating a bunch of stuff, Oz.
Yeah, and he's not eating cafeteria food. He's
got his
protein shakes. It's established here that Channing Tatum, who's playing Duke, we should say, Duke Orsino, hilariously, the character is a Duke in 12th Night. And so they just call this guy Duke, which is funny. It's like a dog's name. There's no like Duke. There's like birth certificates say Duke, I don't think. Anyway, he has a crush on Olivia, who is some, I don't know. What is her defining characteristic?
Being there.
She's there.
Blonde.
Yeah.
Mid 2000s attractive. Like in the most, if you told an AI art to be like, put up a attractive high school girl from 2006 on there, AI would be like, I guess this.
Yeah.
And then we'd all go, sure.
Like someone who you would think like, oh, why is she not on like some CW show right now?
That's so accurate.
Yeah, that's about right. There's a brief scene in the shower later where she almost gets to take a shower, but then I'm mentioning this because the weird guy comes in, who's Malcolm, who's based on the character Malvolio, which hilariously is the name of his tarantula. Anyway, so he comes in and is like, I'm weird and I'm gonna be mean about stuff, and Channing Tatum hits him with a towel. And she leaves.
Kind of hard, it seems.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
great.
it really gets him.
Yeah.
Especially, it's a nice little pocket dynamic of, I think Amanda Bynes' character is weird, but Sebastian's at least on the soccer team, but this guy's just a nerd.
Yeah.
Like, I might hate that guy, but I really hate you.
He's also a creep.
Yeah, he's mostly just a creep. The way the characters are treating him, he's like a super nerd, but he doesn't present as that.
Yeah, I mean, he
And
sings
he's
that
kind
song
of just conniving.
He
Yeah,
sings
conniving.
that song about peeping on.
Yeah.
The girl was like, oh, he wrote his own lyrics, and he's like, I have a song too. I'm seeing you through your window.
Yeah, he just kind of
Hiding
sucks.
in the
Yeah.
tree.
Yes,
And
the
ultimately
pillow with her
tries-
face on it too.
Yes. Yeah. They just keep adding stuff to his thing. And then you don't even know he has a tarantula at this point. Anyway.
Ben Platt would have crushed this character in like 10 years.
Yeah. He would have had to play it like 30 years ago to be age appropriate. Anyway. Poor guy.
Yeah,
They waited too long to make a movie of the thing that he's most known for.
They waited too long for his dad to make a movie.
It'll happen. Anyway, so she has some soccer nightmares. It's very big green. Then there's a hazing ritual that doesn't happen again. They try it this one time, pulls a fire alarm,
nope.
like forget it.
I didn't think that was kind of a clever way to get out of it,
Yeah.
even if it was hand wavy.
No, they probably talked later and was like, you know what? I think that was enough of a hazing for them. They're part of the team now.
I think we went in too hot. That's what caused the fire alarms to go off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we came on way too strong. They were super freaked out. They almost died.
And you know what? I guess I don't want to see them naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. They like she left. Like, you know, she gets on her hands and knees, leaves, and no one pays attention. Like, I get it's Shakespearean farts. Everyone's dumb, but like they're all just like I can just picture all the seniority just huddling back up after. It's like, all right, man, okay, so yeah, we were in a dark room. We were screaming real loud in their faces. Like maybe this is. Maybe that was enough.
We had costumes. We were taking their clothes off.
I don't know if I can get back up to that level. Like if we do it all over again, they're gonna know what's happening. Like it's not gonna be as good.
No, definitely not. And then it's just like everyone hates Sebastian. He's just weird and off-putting. So she tells her metrosexual friend about this, and he's like, I have the perfect thing. We're going to get these girls who you're friends with to hit on you really aggressively. And that's what happens next. She shows up at the pizza parlor where everyone hangs out.
Salvador's. Cesario's, okay.
That's the name of the actual fake man that that Viola is playing in 12th Night. The brother is still Sebastian. In this, they just simplify it and say she's Sebastian because that's not only is it simplified, but also that's probably what it says in the registry for the school. Yeah. So they don't do like a second fake name thing. This scene's, Amanda Bynes is good in this scene too.
Yeah.
It was so over the top.
It's very over the top. It is nice that it just keeps building, and the soccer boys are like, "Oh, here comes Sebastian. I hope he doesn't see us." And then they're like, "What is going on?" Just keeps going.
And Paul's also like delivering lines to the girl to say, right? Or to
basically leading to make
he's written lines for them at least. So
you had a comment on this scene that I thought was funny
about the how the dynamic would actually work in real life. That I was saying that in real life, it's funny how I can remember being in high school and there were people. There were guys that were getting girls, and in your head, again, putting ourselves back in mid 2000s toxicity, but just there's guys that are just what, how's he pulling, or how he doing it, but it's but it's the proof's in the pudding. He's there. I don't know. He's got something, and then you just kind of write it off.
Yeah, it's just testimonial based.
It's a great hand wave for damn. Okay, he's banging these two girls. I guess we're good. Get this guy in here. We need.
Yeah.
And then Madeline shows up.
Monique.
Thank you.
I kept forgetting her and Olivia were different people. Until they fought in the bathroom, I was like, oh, thank God.
They're pretty different.
They are very different.
So Monique.
One's mean.
Can't tell women apart.
They're both blonde. I don't know. Monique is Sebastian's actual girlfriend.
Yep.
And then fake Sebastian, Viola, does the probably not cool move of just breaking up with her here in a public place. As much as Monique sucks, it's putting everyone in a pretty awkward position. Yep. Ultimately, but everyone cheers. The whole pizza parlor recognizes that this girl must suck and deserves to have this horrible thing happen.
She was kind of psycho in there.
And by then, the whole pizzeria saw oh man, Sebastian's so cool.
We love that guy. Yeah. We hate you.
If Sebastian's not cool with her, then she must suck.
That guy was slapping ass 3 minutes ago. You think come in, insult our friend.
You can't tie Sebastian down.
What was her line to the Lance Bass guy? It was
girls with asses as nice as mine don't talk to boys with faces like yours.
Yeah, so that guy didn't look unattractive.
Nope, but
she just sucks.
And she just sucks.
It was just a weird thing to say to a guy who was clearly hired to be hot.
Which she then follows up with, I'm just here looking for my boyfriend, Sebastian. They're like, what is happening? Great stuff. The lab partners. They have lab partners. That's already been established in an earlier scene, but here's a scene of them in a lab. And Channing Tatum's character is with Eunice, who you think is kind of getting hard done by this script, but it turns out Eunice is fine.
Yeah.
Eunice is doing well. Yep. She's great.
I was really happy about that turn.
Yeah. She's
I love
great.
Eunice.
She's comfortable in who she is.
Yeah. Very sexually active.
I was gonna say
very
freaky.
Horny as fuck.
It happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Viola, Sebastian, is paired up with Olivia, the object of Duke's desire. So Duke makes a deal with her because there's always deals in these movies that if he, meaning Sebastian, successfully talks up Duke to Olivia and gets them to go on a date, Duke will help Sebastian get better at soccer. pretty low stakes. It's not as official an agreement as in 10 Things I Hate About You. There's no money that's changing hands. And ultimately, like it's like a net positive if he gets better at soccer anyway.
Yeah, I mean it's for the team, so
Right, yeah. It's kind of what he's the captain. He probably should be
Yeah.
helping them get better at soccer.
Yep.
it's also his roommate, so like
Yep.
you're gonna spend a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like he's not like mean about it, but
No,
it's
no.
more just like do me a solid, bro, kind of level.
I also do like that Amanda Bynes is good at soccer, but she's still like needs to learn a bit. So I kind of like that she gets better in that. Also, when she would do
Happens in
tryouts,
motocross
she
also.
was wearing like too much clothes. So I imagine she was way overheated.
Oh yeah, she had like a hoodie on and like the
And, like, sweatpants.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a soccer training montage. There's some other stuff that happens in this. It looks like Viola's falling for Duke. There's some science class scenes. They practice scissor kicks a lot more than they come up in actual games, as you're thinking. And then the climactic moment is it's a good thing she was practicing scissor kicks because that's what wins them the game. But most of what they practice is scissor kicks. So neither Amanda Bynes nor Channing Tatum were good at soccer before this. So I guess they figured I guess not. But they played a lot of soccer to like at least get like body movements right and stuff.
And I
He
can see
played it in high
Channing.
school.
I can see Channing Tatum just being good at sports.
Yeah.
and
He
like
was
him.
athletic in high school, and I thought
Yeah.
soccer was one of his sports.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not.
Soccer was tough a little older than us. Like I don't know when the U.S. soccer revolution of youth sports came into play.
70s.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Supposedly. Pele, when he played for the New York Cosmos.
Yep.
And that's why
Anyway.
they do the kick in this because of Pele.
Because Pele.
But yeah, no, I think it's coming. It's coming. We had Balogun committing to the U.S. men's national team. Messi is coming to Miami. It's all happening.
Yep.
Anyway, so there is. I think also like Channing Tatum being a dancer helps with like he looks like he's doing the right like body movement stuff. He looks like a athlete and a soccer player.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he's probably just thinking of it in terms of like steps or whatever, right?
He went to college on a football scholarship. Like he was very athletic.
Yeah, super athletic.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, exactly.
Draft day. We did that episode already.
Oh, whoops.
That's
Field goal.
that's a 5-minute major. It's funny when she has to pretend to get hit in the groin.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's a good bit.
Yeah.
Her overacting as a boy is so entertaining. It never gets old in this movie.
Yeah. Malcolm is talking to his tarantula. He's conniving he's making evil plans. And like no one's really doing like anything too dramatic, but this guy's making his evil plans with his tarantula, which is great. The next scene is when she's talking to her brother. He's in London. She's like messing with her wig. David Cross comes over and talks to her about
Male
wigs and male baldness.
and how the ladies do dig it.
It's just very funny.
Yes. Oh, and he's cleaning the windows before that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just does every job.
Yeah.
Back in lab class, I don't know, whatever. They're just sometimes doing chemistry, sometimes they're doing dissections. Those were different classes in my high school, whatever.
This is a prep school, so
They
do it different.
It's vague science lab.
Yeah.
And she successfully convinces Olivia to consider dating Channing Tatum. And then later that night, she's giving Duke the good news. They're bonding over talking about girls, and they get scared by the tarantula. I think Tatum is funny here.
Yeah. I really like how they both reacted to it, and I thought they were really just entertaining in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of moments where they end up like too close, and then it becomes it's like just short of doing like a no homo thing. Yeah.
That was the same scene that right before that they were talking about how to talk to women, right? With the Gouda.
Yeah.
Very good scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
do
he's
that
like,
girl voice.
yeah, mess with my head or whatever. And then this is where the carnival comes up.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a carnival that both Sebastian and Viola are expected. Viola or Viola? What is it?
I think it's Viola.
Bye.
Viola are both expected to attend. And Duke is also going, and so is Monique, and so is Olivia. All the main characters, besides you would think Eunice, but no, Eunice is there too. Terrifying children. She just has a thing. She's having a good time.
Yep.
Whatever. So all of the characters in the movie are going to be there, and both Sebastian and Viola need to make an appearance. Hijinks ensue.
Yep. Reminded me that kissing booths are a thing, and then like that is just kind of creepy. Yeah,
maybe not post COVID, but
has any? I've never been to a thing with a kissing booth.
I've seen them, but
okay,
yeah, I have seen them in person. It's not just a movie thing.
A movie thing or like a TV thing, like
probably predominantly.
Yeah, or like when you see like, oh, you guys have to take care of an egg for a week, or here's a fake baby to take care of.
That is a thing because my spin instructor literally said her kid's doing it in class.
Okay,
we did that in our I didn't.
Okay, yeah. I did not.
We did have a class.
We did not do it.
Somerset had a fake baby class too.
Yeah.
All right.
But that fake baby one's the only one. The other ones you said are all true.
Oh, okay.
It's like quicksand, like the John Mulaney pit.
Yeah,
like,
I thought it was going to be a much bigger problem. There's a whole, what is it, Netflix that has a whole series of kissing booth movies?
Yeah, they
What
do.
are those movies about? How do you base a whole series around those?
I don't know.
You've seen every movie. What are they about?
Oh well, since I have seen every movie,
Joey King.
It's a anthology type of series where it's like different kissing booths, and it's about like different kisses too. It really gets into kisses.
Is it like BioShock but for kissing booths?
Yeah.
There's 3 kissing booth movies. What are they about? For real, I need answers.
I don't even know.
You have to have a kissing booth month and just force people to watch them without having seen the other ones.
That's why the kids all love Joey King, because they all love the kissing booth movies, and she's in all of them.
Is she? Maybe it's like her business. Like, this is my business. I own a kissing booth. How am I going to keep this kissing booth afloat?
In the year 2023, with COVID and cancel culture raging, how does Joey King keep this kissing booth open?
The third one came out in 2021. The short under the like info block on Wikipedia is brutal. The film, like its predecessors, was met with negative reviews.
This is a Netflix original.
There's 3 of them.
And they just put that on their little blurb.
Yeah. Well, sorry, on Wikipedia.
It's on Wikipedia.
On Wikipedia. Sorry.
I thought you were saying
It's like, here's who wrote it, who's starring in it, who
Netflix
directed
just didn't
it.
give up.
I
They're
thought
like, you get it.
I thought you were saying Netflix.
No,
for
sorry.
their
Yeah, on Wiki. Yeah, objectively bad movie, says Wikipedia. No redeeming qualities.
Says Netflix officially identified it as one of its consistently most viewed releases.
I mean, they made 3 of them.
The children love those.
They don't have the Disney movies to go to anymore. I mean, they do. It's on Disney Plus. But Netflix needed their own.
So we're at the carnival.
Carnival.
All the main characters are there. She picks, aside from the porta potty, which makes sense,
Yes.
consistently picks the worst places to make quick changes.
Yep.
Bouncy House.
One of the
Teacup.
spinning like teacup-ish rides.
Bouncy House problematic. She changes in front of those kids and shows boob. That's a fucking felony.
The dress is underneath her.
Yeah,
that's why we talked about that. I brought this up during the movie, and Bree said the same thing. That she's got a dress on. She's never naked.
Yes, she's never nude. There's a lot of nudity at the soccer game later.
Yes.
As is pointed out by their dad.
Which his own problematicness is different.
We'll see. Yeah, the kissing booth. She does kind of. Does she purposely get in there before Channing Tatum can kiss Olivia, or is it just sort of like that's what happens?
I think it's purely accidental.
Yeah,
I think it's
because it feels coincidence at that point, but she could have surveyed the situation and like done a solid for her bro.
She is going around like a lot of different places. She did like 3 changes already. She doesn't know what's going on.
She's out of control.
Yes.
They also show her kissing that nerdy guy for a while, and I think that's
3 minutes.
I think that's the scene she surveys. She like sees that and goes, I gotta get this girl. I gotta get this girl out of here.
She doesn't necessarily take note that Duke is literally next in line.
Talking to like the 10-year-old.
Ultimately works out that causes a spark, I guess, between them. Not that
scene
Channing
was
Tatum
done well.
ever meets her again, to his knowledge.
They seem like they have a good time kissing each other.
Yeah.
And then Jamie?
Yes.
Is that his name?
The
Her
shitty
ex-boyfriend.
Oh, the ex?
Yeah.
Yeah, some Justin or Jamie.
Jacob,
or
Jamie
maybe.
Taco.
Yeah. Jamie Taco shows up, and he's just kind of a douche.
Yeah, but you're right. That scene's nice. They're doing like again, Channing Tatum doing his sort of like almost like a Hugh Grantish kind of
I didn't mean you.
babbling thing. Yeah.
Like you're nice, I guess. I mean,
yeah. I also do like that Toby and other guy are like, you got this, man. You're
so supportive.
Olivia.
Yeah, they're super supportive.
4 years in the making.
This is a moment in time.
Yes.
The double date hasn't happened, right?
No,
okay. We're getting there. They debrief back at their dorm room later, and Duke has a nosebleed from the fight that they get into. Oh yeah, they get into a fight.
I want to talk about something real quick about the fight. The goalie kid, Jamie Taco, gets
Justin.
Oh, Justin.
Right.
Justin Taco.
Justin
I'm
gets,
definitely going to cut that part out, so it doesn't make any sense.
Justin gets a flush right hand sucker punch on Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
And like in real life, I'm not saying the character, but in real life, I feel like even Channing Tatum's high cheekbones, like he'd probably crumple from that.
Yeah.
Like Channing Tatum takes it, like he just got a light slap on the face. And he's like, boosh. He's like, what?
I think Justin just doesn't hit hard.
Maybe. He's a goalie.
He's a goalie.
Also, I will say from that scene, it definitely, even though they were like split apart and stuff, it definitely seems like Channing Tatum won that fight, but Justin feels like hips like talking to him like he won it.
Yeah, he's like, how's your chin feeling?
Yeah, he's an asshole.
It's like
He sucks.
you gave like you maybe broke his nose or something or caused his nose to bleed, but like you definitely lost that fight.
Yeah, exactly.
But Justin's a douchebag enough where he would be like, no, I want.
Exactly.
Did you see his popped collar?
He does have a pop collar. It's
That was
2006.
So bad.
His hair's so tall.
3 years after, like that was definitely put in there. Like everyone's like, oh, we know, we give him a pop collar. Everyone knows.
Yeah, everyone knows what this means. Yeah. Back at the dorm, there's a debrief. Tatum is using a tampon for his nosebleed.
Yep.
He's spinning the soccer ball on his finger.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that reveal to show.
Yeah. They're talking about the real things. Viola's being pretty selfish, trying to push him to call her to ask her out on a date.
Which is weird because it's his sister.
Yeah. And it's definitely weird for Duke also, who's like, can we not talk about this? It's weird. But he does say, like, it's nice. We should just like be cool just to like talk to someone about stuff. And she's like this? And he's like, yeah, like this. And yeah, it's nice. But also we're getting into the point in these movies where like, oh, you should really not be lying to this person anymore. They practice more scissor kicks. Seems unnecessary. This montage is scored to an OAR song. The weird kid Malcolm is taking clandestine photos for some reason. What will these photos prove? They seem really important to him.
You see, they're playing soccer.
What is he? What's the purpose of those photos?
I think those are just for him.
You know, he was like, wait, you know, I already check out Olivia so much from afar. I might as well check out my competition.
Those are their soccer practice is his peeping practice.
Yeah.
He needs to get to become a better peeper.
I don't know if we've positively identified that his problem with Sebastian is that he also has a crush on Olivia and thinks Sebastian, just some transfer kid, just came in and stole all the work he's been doing.
Yep.
Which is a thing that some guys think is a thing, especially in high school.
You gotta get behind. You gotta get behind me in line.
Yep.
This is a transaction that needs to occur.
Yes, I have so many more frequent flyer miles stored up than you do. The coach, Vinnie Jones, also takes note of all the work they've been doing, which pays off in the next scene in the weight room. Tatum's like asking, "Oh, how's your sister doing?" Not like in a Mark Wahlberg way, but
How is your sister doing?
yeah, say hi to your sister for me. The coach makes Viola first string for the Cornwall game. Her and Duke hug. She tries to grab his ass.
And Duke is like, "Ooh."
Yeah, which in his defense, all the times he's like kind of weird about like getting too close. It is like she is trying to grab his ass.
Yeah.
I don't think there was ever a moment where like he was unjustified in that.
Right,
because
yes.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
He's not just being macho.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's kind
exactly.
of being like, well, that was kind of weird.
It's
Stop
a
doing
little
that.
like,
close.
hey, yeah.
Because even if a girl did that, it'd be like, why are you so close to me?
Yeah.
Yes. Across the room, the girls, Olivia and her friend, who isn't really that much defined, they make a little plan too to try and make Sebastian, quote unquote, Sebastian jealous. So she walks over and starts flirting with Duke. Channing Tatum's funny as he's like doing his fake smooth thing.
I liked how he missed the bar and he hit his head on the bar. That was funny. That was good. That was good.
So endearing in this movie
He
with
is.
how
He is
just
really
inept he is with around the girl he likes.
Yep. And then the double date is planned. Eunice gets pulled into this too.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. And there's a great cutaway while they're at dinner to Toby, and I forget the other guy's name.
Other guy.
Lance Bass.
Yeah. Yeah. And Toby's like, how come when I wanted to ask Eunice out, everyone thought it was weird? Screw you guys. I hate high school.
When
now the coolest guy in school wants to ask Eunice out. It's cool.
when they want to ask or they want to show youth of any age, like, oh, what does high school feel like? How do you know high school's unimportant? They should just show that clip.
It does feel like pretty true.
That's exactly what it feels like in high school. The whole time in high school, there's just some weird barrier that if you broke it down by its parts, like, okay, why do you feel that way? Because that person, like, they won't think I'm popular anymore. Who's they? Like, the whole school. And how long are you going to know them for? 2 more years. Okay, so and you like this other girl? Yes, but no one else does. Okay, this seems like a great situation for you.
Yep.
I will say, so I didn't watch this movie when I was younger, but it falls in a very similar thing to like the Princess Diaries and stuff. Stop showing weird, unattractive girls have curly hair and glasses, please. It gave me such a complex growing up, thinking I had to wear contacts and straighten my hair.
God, people's hair was so straight.
Yeah, you were
crazy.
unattractive if you had curly hair back then, and if you had glasses on. If you had both, forget it.
So in all of these scenes with Eunice, you're always like, oh, I kind of feel bad for Eunice, but like she's like a really good sport about everything.
No, yeah, she's fine.
Which makes you feel like a little worse for her, but at least she's not like, she doesn't get upset. She just takes it in stride.
They don't show any. There's no.
She's just doing her.
She's never upset. Like it's kind of nice to see.
There's no like Heather's reveal where like she has to like Amanda Bynes has to be mean to her and she sulks off.
Yes.
Like that never happens.
There's not a Martha dump truck situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's she ends up with Toby at the end,
Yeah.
which was just
And they're
nice. And
very
I was like,
happy.
good.
And they
Like-
do the Galaxy Quest like fall down.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
That was so weird.
Sam Rockwell's there
Yeah.
and just goes, "Oh, that's not right."
And she's also just like a normal looking person who won't have headgear forever. So
Yeah.
like, anyway, but yeah, she really just has curly hair and glasses.
Yeah.
And
That's it.
Ah.
Like I guess she has braces, but like who didn't in high
Yeah.
school?
Right, yeah, it's not forever though.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, she is acting extremely weird.
Oh, yeah,
She
yeah.
is strange, but like
she knows what she wants. She
does
goes
what she
after
wants.
it.
if she had straightened hair and no glasses, it would not hit the same, quote unquote.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Agreed. They went for a thing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, real Sebastian in England is leaving a voicemail for Monique saying he's coming home a day early.
And that they need to talk.
Dun dun dun.
Meanwhile, there's a prep meeting for the debutante ball. Amanda Bynes angrily eats chicken because now she's jealous of Olivia, who was trying to make her jealous. You know, it's a triangle with a twist. Thanks, Shakespeare. I guess he stole that from someone in Italy.
Yeah.
That's my research. Chew like you have a secret. That's a line here too. Then they're in the bathroom. She finds out that Olivia was just trying to make Sebastian jealous. So they soften, but Monique's there. And so now she's mad at Olivia. And they have a big fight. Supposedly there's some of this is stunt doubles, but some of it is just like these actual people fighting. Then Sebastian's back. He gets out of a cab. Olivia runs up to him and high on adrenaline kisses him.
And quote some of the lyrics that
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
And so I mean, we could probably come back to this at the end, but I do feel like everything really works out for actual Sebastian in this movie.
Yeah.
Whirlwind day for Sebastian.
A great first day at his new school.
And he got to still do his concert in London
Yeah,
with like
which
no
apparently went
consequences.
really well.
Yeah.
Monique was broken up with for him.
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't have to break up with her. This like nicer girl who already likes his art is like really into him.
Like breaks up with Monique immediately with blonde girl.
Yeah.
Evidently has a large penis. We'll find out later.
By the reactions.
Yeah, by the reactions.
Good job, Paul.
Right, yeah.
That's my boy. Does he say that? Does the dad say that?
I'm
Yes.
pretty sure the dad says that's my
Yep.
boy.
Yeah.
Lots of very good reactions
great.
to that.
It's great.
Yeah, he just has to play soccer badly, which, to be fair, shouldn't bother him at all.
And you know what?
No, he doesn't care about it. So
and
whatever.
no one scored for the first half, so
It doesn't
what he was
actually
doing
matter.
wasn't that bad.
Yeah, he didn't make someone score, so
Yeah.
he wasn't a liability.
He was at all like just a net neutral.
Yeah,
It feels like they should have had them score a couple
Yeah, I felt the
goals.
same thing, but
it's soccer.
Yeah, park
It's
the
high
bus.
school soccer, but
We're not quite at the game yet, though. Monique finally plays her voicemails, and it is like a dun 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 moment. Back in the dorm room, there's a bit of a falling out and like a kind of weirdly like physical fight between Viola and Duke.
It feels earned just because
Yeah, it
Duke
is.
obviously
Yeah.
fights people, like not necessarily like in a shitty way, but just
Yeah.
like, you can tell he's a physical person.
Just because we talked about Sopranos earlier, it's like very the fight that Tony and Carmela have feels like kind of similar.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or one of them like up against the wall, he like punches the hole in the wall and stuff.
I mean, and like from Duke's perspective, like his like new roommate friend, it just is something super shitty to him.
yeah.
Like beyond
Yeah.
shitty, it's like
Yeah.
you were putting me to her, and now you're making out with her. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yes, and she can't like explain it, so she gets kicked out. Eunice takes her in for the night.
Yeah.
I've
Just-
never had a roommate.
Yeah,
God, her line deliveries are so good.
so intense. Just watching her sleep.
serene.
That was so funny. Darling, I think. Yeah.
What a good hand wave for why she's late to the game.
Yeah.
It is really funny. She oversleeps. Sebastian, who actually ends up in that dorm room, is woken up and made to go to the soccer game.
They all know his name. And he's on the soccer team.
He's on the soccer team. He gets his face painted, which I guess is why no one is like checking to make sure it's still the same human being.
Who cares about the height difference?
Yeah.
You know, I've never really got a good look at Sebastian, but I think that's about the same height.
I do like his vibe of just like, I guess this is how we do things at this
Yep.
school.
It
Like,
would have been fun.
I guess I'm assigned to the starting lineup of the soccer team.
It would have been great if he just had like a British accent when he came back from London, like some people do. And they're like, why is Sebastian doing this weird British thing?
They would have just been like, Sebastian changed their accent again.
Yeah.
It's the third time in 11 days. 'Cause this movie is 2 weeks, I believe. A lot of people falling in, lots of love. But hey, it's a comedy. It's a farce. Makes sense. Okay. So, I did note that earlier Duke is like, okay, when fake Sebastian Viola is like, Viola, whatever. I don't know why it's so hard for
Violin.
me. Yeah. When she's like, oh, I got to play in that game. It's such a big game. And he's like, oh, why is that game so big? And then she has to be like, oh, because my sister used to date the goalie. And then you get there and you're like, oh, no, this is a big game. Like, why were they so weird to Sebastian about this being a big game? It seems like it's a very big deal for them.
I mean, it could be a big deal because he got in a fight with them since, but yeah, like.
Yeah, but it's like a whole rally. It's like a homecoming thing. It is explicitly
the arch rival
first
game
of the season.
Yeah. And there's a big crowd. Big
Yeah.
crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Big
wouldn't assume
From both schools.
a prep school and a not prep school, assumedly, would be a big deal, but.
Yeah, these teams have bad blood, and the Cornwall's like, this is finally the day that we beat them. It's
There's
like,
also-
it's a huge deal for them.
There's also the big like introduction, like, oh, here's our team, and they come out. The cheerleaders are there.
Could do
That's
that
when
each
I wrote
time.
this down. Yeah.
Each time in every game.
I don't know.
I think that was supposed to be like a homecoming game.
So Sebastian's out on the pitch. He's not playing well. All-American Rejects' Dirty Little Secret is playing.
Yep.
Didn't make sense, really.
They
I mean, I
owned
understand.
that decade.
There's a secret.
No, I was gonna say, lyrics-wise, it does. That song doesn't match with soccer to me.
And he's dirty.
He's dirty. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty like happy kind of bubblegummy song for this should be a dramatic moment.
Yeah, that's why I was confused. I understand the sentiment of "I'll keep you my dirty little secret," even though the story is not. Anyway,
That band owned that decade for teen movies.
Yeah, this isn't the last time we'll hear from All American Rejects
Nope.
in this movie. So Sebastian's playing real bad. David Cross gets on the field with a megaphone, flanked by Monique, who does not go to this school, and
Malcolm.
Malcolm.
But Monique and Malcolm did team up at some point for some reason.
Yeah, she was just
Oh, wait,
wandering around at night in a dorm of a school she doesn't go to, and he was like, "I heard you needed trouble" or something. Anyway,
make it double.
Whatever. Steepling of the fingers.
Exactly. Yeah, he goes full James. Yeah. Anyway, so then this sequence where in the middle of this soccer match, the headmaster of the school forces a kid to produce a penis to show that they're a boy.
In David Cross's defense,
this is just what they do in Florida now.
Yeah, he's not the one that says prove it. And
Right.
Sebastian offers.
But he doesn't stop it.
Yeah, he did say that you probably will need therapy.
Extensive
Yeah.
psychoanalysis.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was before when he thought,
Yeah, that was even before
Yeah.
this kid has dropped trow on the field there. Yeah, so I guess this kid, he's just like a punk rocker. Loves Beck.
Yep. OAR.
Happy to just whip out his junk because he's like, whatever, I'm a rebel. I didn't want to even play in this soccer game. You guys made me. Then you got on a megaphone and said I'm a big girl.
I forgot they did that.
It's just like we said, a weird first day, but like ultimately very positive for him.
Kiss Off by Violent Femmes just playing in his head the whole time.
Yeah. Anyway, so then David Cross and the other two sort of leave the field and gets to halftime. It's 0-0. Viola manages to pull him into... it's like the structure of some kind of tower that's on the side of the field.
I was gonna say
it feels bleachers.
So it feels like a bleacher, but they have the stands.
Yeah.
I guess,
they need the bleachers. I also thought the same thing. I was like, oh, they're under the bleachers, and
No.
they keep showing the real bleachers.
No, it looks like they're in like the lattice work of like a lifeguard chair or something. Anyway, so
You're the lifeguard for soccer, you know, in case someone starts drowning on the pitch.
So they swap out. She's like, you have to stay in here for the rest of the match. He's like, yeah, sure. What a weird day. Playing better in the second half. She makes an appeal to Vinnie Jones, like, I gotta get back in, give me another chance. And what I think is interesting and kind of like, that's not how these movies usually work. Duke scores like an individual goal. She's not involved in it.
No.
She's like, oh, they're playing better now because
I thought
she's
she
on the
passed it
pitch.
to him.
No, he does the kick up, bicycle kick.
Yeah.
I know, but I thought she like passed it to him and then he did that.
Oh, maybe, but he still kind of
it's
does everything.
very, very individual.
It's not like she crossed it and he heads it in.
No, he creates the chance himself.
So, real quick, I like that. So Sebastian, from Vinnie Jones's perspective, played like dog shit in the first half, missed halftime. Like, he did not,
he wasn't there for
Vinnie
halftime.
Jones surely went back and yelled at everybody. He specifically probably wanted to yell at Sebastian for playing like dog shit. And then he comes back and he's just like, okay, sure. He puts him back in the game, which you can't do.
So I think in a lot of youth soccer, at least when I was playing like school soccer, you can sub in and out.
Yeah, I don't know about high school. That's the only thing. I never played high school soccer.
And you know, whatever league this is, you don't know, they could have their own individual rules. We don't even know.
We never
part of
played
the country
Illyrian
it's in.
soccer growing up.
Exactly. Anyway, yeah, from his perspective, it's like, oh, they're playing better now, I guess. But Duke is still mad, so he's not passing the ball, and because of his selfishness, Cornwall gets the ball, goes down, scores. The goalie does one of those like post-assisted backflips.
Very
He
dangerous.
starts calling himself a ninja a lot.
Yeah.
Then they have a bench clearing fight,
Yep.
which I think is the end of a game in a high school match.
With no red cards, no suspensions.
Yeah, no suspensions. No one's
and there's
thrown
a
out.
very soft straight red later in the match, but
Yeah.
anyway. So
Yeah.
then basically there's another big stoppage. Dave Cross and the other people are back out there with the megaphone. I should have mentioned this the first time when like that child was made to strip in public. This is the worst way to handle this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if he believes them, like this was a straight. He calls their parents
Yep.
and is like, "You have to be here to see your
You're
child
gonna
get super
want
embarrassed."
You're
Yeah.
gonna want to see this.
The worst way to handle this, especially considering how on Sebastian's side he was. Or maybe he just felt betrayed, also like Duke.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she confesses, and it's going over like kind of okay, kind of weird. She does have to flash everybody to get people.
She also says that she kissed him, and he's what? How does he? Or like she's like, "I love you,"
yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, I don't really feel that way."
Yeah,
It's kind of weird.
real
man.
awkward. Real awkward.
I didn't kiss you.
Yeah, so she says she's a girl, actually, and the coach from Cornwall's like, in the rule book, it says you can't. And then Vinnie Jones just rips the rule book in half, and the ref's like, good enough for me.
Yeah.
We're playing Airbud rules.
Yeah, I did write there's nothing in the rule book that says a girl can't play soccer.
I also believe the only reason Vinnie Jones was cast as this was just for that line to be like, we need someone who's intimidating enough who can get away with this.
Here at Illyria, we don't discriminate based on gender.
I love that line. Yep.
Yep.
He's so intense, but he's just so progressive.
Yeah.
Just gives her the nod. Like, oh, I love it.
Yeah, happy to have her in there.
Also, the dad doesn't care that Amanda Bynes is flashing the crowd either.
They don't seem very involved parents.
Yeah. Well, they don't have each other's
That's
cell
my
phone
girl.
numbers. We
Yeah.
get that at the end. He's like,
I like that they were asking each other out.
Yeah.
Even though there's a
Would you like my cell phone number? I'll give you my email.
a lot of nudity at this soccer.
It is a good line.
They're chill parents. They don't care.
Ugh.
Probably a little too chill.
They hate
With
each
their
other.
child.
They hated each other more than they loved their kids.
Neither of them knew that their son was in London
different
for
country.
2 weeks. Or where their daughter was
Yep,
for
nope.
2 weeks.
Nothing.
Presumably they needed to help him get a passport at some point, right?
No, you got it.
The game resumes. There's always someone doing a front flip throw in these
Yep.
movies.
Ugh.
I was like, oh, we're just doing all the soccer trick plays things.
And of course, Chaden can just do it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
get the backflip celebrations. We get the shirt over the head. Everything that Americans thought was soccer in 2000s.
Yes. So Viola's doing some good distribution. She's dribbling. It's like a pretty nasty tackle, but it's not a straight red.
No,
like,
he got
VAR
around
would have
it.
Overturned this.
Yeah.
He got around it.
The
It
other
wasn't that
teacher
bad.
said all ball, or the other coach said all ball, and like we can't really tell from that angle. And there's no replay, obviously,
there's no
but
replay.
like absolutely could have believed that was an all ball tackle.
Yeah.
There were people that were like sending themselves like missiles by her because like obviously they weren't meant to actually get her, but like there were people that weren't even close. So then some guys like, I know how to actually play soccer.
And so the guy gets a straight red. He gets thrown out. And they're operating both on a couple different rules that even though this is a high school and they're subbing in and out, and so maybe I don't know all the rules. There's no discussion of who takes it. They're doing it like it's a foul shot.
Yep. And obviously in soccer, it's not who gets fouled.
It's you can pick who takes
you
a
can
PK.
pick who takes it, and also
The game immediately ends after the kick.
Yep. So I thought about this right as I've been sitting in this room. It wasn't golden goal era, right? It was past that. So for
I don't
those
think it was golden goal.
for those of
It wasn't like extra time or anything.
Oh,
was
that's
it?
true. Yeah.
It was
So,
just the
yeah.
match. Like,
There was a period from like, I don't know, I think it was like the late 90s, early 2000s where international soccer played along with the thing to try to get American. It was both to try to get like an American audience in and also to try to make soccer more exciting. They had it so that if anybody scored in overtime or extra time, the game would immediately end. However, that just turned into teams not wanting to do anything at all. Like they were just like, oh, okay, it's not worth losing on one goal, so we'll just play defense the whole time. So they basically just boringly kicked the ball back for 30 minutes and then went to penalty kicks almost every time.
right, yeah. So this the penalty kick itself, the goalie is like super mad at the end of this, and he's the villain. He does a great job.
Yeah, the fact that he even got close to the second attempt here.
He saves a top corner penalty.
And then almost saves
And then
a rebound.
recovers the time to save a rebound. That's the defense's fault at that point. Channing Tatum gets a free header, puts it in the box for a scissor kick for Viola to just put it away.
Put in the top corner again on the opposite side.
Opposite top corners, and he almost gets to it. And he's so mad, and it's like, like if there were scouts watching, they're going to be like, that's a good job by that goalie.
But not now that he starts crying in the corner.
Yeah, so there's like a couple things. It's like, that's not how soccer works.
The scouts would see that and be like, never mind. This guy's a crybaby.
Actually, no, you know
He's
what?
passionate.
Yeah,
I'm about
that's
to
true.
say soccer players do love crying, so that probably would have been in his favor.
Yeah, and the game just ends, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah,
That was
that's
it.
they don't even bother to blow the whistle. They don't even like cut to the ref,
No,
just being
the,
like
the crowd
that's
runs
it.
out.
We're not gonna get a cooler kick than that, guys.
I mean, if
Yeah,
it's
they're on Rucker Park rules. It's like if someone did a big dunk, game's over.
It's over. If sometimes like in soccer, like there will be like a late goal or something where it's like, okay, we're already like we're supposed to have 5 minutes. It's been 8, and the minute the thing is like kicked, whether it's saved
You
or
still
not.
have to
They're
restart
like,
though.
Yeah,
Typically.
typically. Even if it's just the minute they kick it, it's just see ya, go home.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But whatever. That's like it doesn't matter.
It doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, it's
they
just
might have
funny.
Vinnie Jones might have actually been pitching that. It's like, they're going to restart. And then they're just like, Vinny, just take your paycheck.
Guy
and
played
get
like
out of here.
200 games in the Premier League. He knows.
Basketball rules. It's cool. Timer went off. The kick was in the. Yeah, that's fine.
Yep. So yeah, the family is kind of like, oh, I can't believe you were in London, to the brother, because they're all like together now and on the field. And then Amanda Bynes suggests let's all get dinner tomorrow. That's when they're exchanging numbers and emails.
I liked that they were like, oh honey, like we understand, like blah blah blah. And then it's like, Sebastian, where were you? And like she immediately tries to cover for him, and then he's like, no, they're supportive parents. They get it now. And it's like, I was in London. They're like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean,
It
it's
is
a whole
funny.
other country, and he's underage.
No, everyone's right in that situation.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, it seems like they're on another level of understanding. I'm going to take a risk. And then that risk was immediately
Doesn't
shot
work for him, no.
How old would he be? 15, 16 years old?
I think he's like 16 or 17.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a
something like that.
senior. I
I
think
thought he was
might.
a freshman. Oh, wait, no, he's not a freshman coming in.
No.
He's a transfer.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be like a junior or something.
Yeah.
Do they ever explain why Amanda Bynes isn't at her old school anymore?
She is still at that school. It just started 2 weeks later. That's why she was able to
that's
fake
the-
being at
gotcha,
the
gotcha,
prep
gotcha.
school
Yes.
for 2 weeks.
So imagine she's going to transfer to the prep school now.
Well, she was there. And
Yeah,
then,
she starts playing
yeah,
with
she
them, so
starts
she
playing- yeah.
transfers.
They might as well.
Yeah.
Tough break for those parents, but I guess if they're combining funds again, if they're back on
Yeah.
the same page.
I mean,
national story. She's definitely going to make a soccer team in college.
and judging
Yeah.
from her mom's house, they look like they're well off.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, she legit made what seemingly like a pretty high level prep school's men's team. So,
Yep.
sorry, boys team. It's high school. Olivia's just cool that she made out with some dude because
Because she read her poetry once.
yeah, because she read his lyrics and liked him, I guess. Because Amanda Bynes brings her brother over. And it's like, I want you to officially meet this guy. And she's like, oh, okay.
I can deal with that.
He's
like,
tall
wow.
now.
Yeah, oh, he's like a foot taller.
Dude, that was the only
It's
thing I
like,
was worried
you've
about.
You've not met this person. What if they suck? Like the person that you kind of like had a crush on because of their personality, like explicitly because they weren't like the other guys at this school. That's not this guy.
Which we don't know Sebastian that well, but we do know that he's only with this other girl because she's hot.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think
Yes,
it's.
considering his dating history, I don't know if that's what she needs right now.
I think it's fine for her to be excited. I think
Oh,
it makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Because like that's more what it is. She's not like, and now that I've met the love of my life, it's more like a, oh, this is the guy I kissed. He is hot. He is the lead like lyricist of a band I think theoretically like. I don't know.
Yeah. It's just that there's like no hesitation. Where
No,
she's
Yeah,
there's
like,
zero
exactly.
hesitation.
They
Amanda
just
Bynes
walk
is
off.
just like, okay, you guys hold hands, you're go over there now. And they're like, cool.
Just walk off into the
We
sunset.
will go by that lifeguard deck.
Yeah. Right. Real Sebastian is just like, yeah, sure. He's just going with the flow. It's fine.
And they do say that Amanda Bynes and Sebastian are twins. So the smile that she got from Amanda Bynes would, I imagine, transfer over to Sebastian.
I mean,
That's how
and
twins work.
her like boy costume does look a lot like him too.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not identical, obviously,
No.
but it looks a lot like yeah, Toby confesses his feelings for Eunice. They're great now. Ray LaMontagne starts playing while Duke kind of stiffs
Viola.
Viola. She sends him a cheese invitation. I was happy for that.
That was a very large wheel of cheese.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was amazing.
You think he's going to eat it all?
Remember our cheese jokes?
Remember that time you embarrassed yourself in front of another girl because the only line I gave you was "What's your favorite cheese?"
And then it's debutante ball time. She's not going to walk because Duke isn't there yet. She goes outside to get some air. I like that, like, it's an obvious fake out coming when you see like
Yeah.
a silhouette approaching through like over dramatic mist. But I like it's just a groundskeeper who needs to turn the sprinklers on. She turns around and Channing Tatum's wearing a suit.
Yep.
And they're cool now. I wrote it. This is the point where I wrote, this really worked out the best for Sebastian because this is like when they're all walking down. It's like he's part of this now too. What a cool, like couple weeks he got to go play at a festival in England.
Yeah.
He got a new girlfriend. Didn't have to do the hard work of breaking up with his old one.
Melina ended up with Justin?
Monique.
I think
That's-
they were.
can't
I
remember
think
her
he
name.
was just escorting her,
Oh,
like
yeah.
as part of it. I don't think they were dating because he like refused to like grab her hand and stuff. He just
I thought
kind
that
of
was just- I thought he was just being an ass. Like he always
I mean, he
is.
is,
Or
but
yeah.
it was just an escort thing.
Could have been like they deserve each other's
Yeah.
sort of like movie acknowledgement. But yeah, everyone's cool. Everyone's like together now. Yeah, they imply that one of the supportive soccer friends is like with the hairdresser guy now.
Yep.
Or at least they're chatting or something. Who again seemed like an adult that owned his own business.
Yeah.
but whatever. Who cares? Yeah. It's all good. Now you see a montage of soccer practice while more All-American Rejects songs play. They do a Dirty Dancing freeze frame.
Yep.
And,
Which didn't really make sense.
because when all you got to keep is strong,
Yeah.
move along. Move along.
Bionicles just
They also
across the field.
They also show him pick her up like 3 times. Like it's like a
Would have been distracting. They're trying to do drills or something.
Yeah.
These guys keep doing Dirty Dancing freeze frames.
But here's the thing: you have Channing Tatum, who obviously is ripped,
Yes.
and you have Amanda
About
Bynes,
Vinnie
who is
Jones'
obviously
age.
small.
Yeah,
You're gonna have that big man pick up that little woman.
he can just throw her.
Yeah. Woo.
Yep.
And if I was Amanda Bynes, I would have been like, yes,
Yep.
let's do a few more.
So he's definitely he's a striker. You think she's more of what, like a 10? Kind of like a distributor.
Yeah.
I only know
she's
striker.
center forward, bro, or whatever.
Yeah, false
but-
9
Yeah,
at most.
Definitely false 9 at most.
Yeah. She's, I think, like Kevin De Bruyne, right?
Yeah.
That's what she's doing. And he's Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
Snapped his ACL minute 30 of the Champions League final yesterday.
Scoreboard.
Yeah, poor KDB. Good movie. Fun.
Yeah.
I like I said, I don't know if I had watched this since seeing it in theaters. Thought it was delightful.
Yeah,
It has like a 4 on Metacritic.
Yeah.
That would be out of 100. I think
Yeah.
on IMDb it has like a 4.
Yep.
43, I think.
Yeah, it's really low on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep.
Whatever, I don't know. Maybe it's a generational thing, but I think it's fun enough, and I think Amanda Bynes is very charming.
Yeah.
yes.
I thought it was just it is just a lot of fun. I was not expecting to like it as much as I did.
It's just fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty
I like
uncomplicated.
the sense
Yeah.
of humor in it.
Yes,
I
I think it does strip away a decent amount of like the wit and drama from the
Yes.
actual source material, of course,
but
allowing for that.
And I don't know how much of the source material it's from or anything like that, but I do like the depictions of the both sexes and like I like a vulnerable
Yeah.
guy in like the mid 2000s. Like, wow.
There's like a shipwreck that separates the twins. It's not like one of them wants to go play music in a different country.
Yeah, she doesn't dress up as her brother, right? In 12th Night,
Yeah,
it's
just a
another
different
character.
like character that's posing as a page boy for the Duke.
Malvolio is an actual character, not a spider.
Does he get lost though, Malvolio?
I don't remember.
He gets hard done,
Oh no.
but he's like conniving and like trying to make stuff happen. And then like some of the minor characters sort of conspire to make him think that Olivia's in love with him. And they write like a fake letter that tells him to do all these things that are actually the things that Olivia hates the most. And then Olivia, as like someone of a high standing, agrees with the other servants that clearly this guy's lost his mind. So they basically like arrest him for insanity. So he gets real fucked up. But this one just talks to a spider.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
The spider talks back to him.
In his mind, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't come back to that.
Nope.
Let's get into ratings, unless there's any other thoughts on the movie. Cool. So every week we'll take our ratings and put them on Letterboxd. Haven't for about 6 months. On a scale of 0.5 to 5, on any scale of your choosing, aside from stars, what would you give 2006's movie by some guy?
Andy Flickman.
Andy Fickman. What I really wanted to have a fake out of, but I couldn't figure out how to make it work, is be like, of course, it's Andy Flickman month, and we're here to talk about, surprise, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. Not the first one. He only directed the second one. That's, I guess, his other biggest movie.
There were some other ones on there that I saw, but I can't.
It's
remember
mostly
them.
He did two Rock family movies.
The Game Plan
Or yeah, actually, they're not both family.
Oh,
He did The Game Plan, and
and
then
the
he did
Return to Witch Mountain.
Yes.
He did
Family.
Heather's the musical.
Yeah.
I'll give him that
Yeah.
because that's phenomenal.
He's doing a lot of TV movies now.
A lot of TV stuff. It's a lot of family stuff, a lot of TV stuff. Whatever you classify Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 as. A very long
comedy,
commercial for Wynn Resorts. Anyway,
all-time comedy.
0.5 to 5 on any scale of your choosing aside from stars. What would you give Paul Blart Mall Cop 2? Or She's the Man, whichever you're prepared to answer.
I would give it 4 out of 5. Kick and Kill, which is a Vinnie Jones line.
I will give it because my forever Predator shame. But I'll go back to the old scale. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 great nods.
She gives
great nods.
4 out of 5 Wheels of Gouda.
4 out of 5 Dirty Little Secrets. And another hearty fuck you to Hulu. As they were doing like the walking scene, not even like the soccer montage when it's no longer dialogue, while the lady's like introducing the people who are walking, it did the thing where it went like really tiny and it's like, here's what we're playing in 5 seconds. And it's like, there's 6 minutes left in the runtime of this movie. What is wrong with Hulu?
What were they playing though?
It was something related that like made sense. I didn't want to watch at the time.
Yeah, but like it was like, oh, watch Clueless now because you just watched.
Yeah, it was something more like not that level.
Like John Tucker Must Die.
It was literally John Tucker.
I just recently rewatched that. It's so good.
Yeah, it was literally like, you want to roll this into John Tucker Must Die? It was like, I can see where you're coming from. You'll never believe why I watched this movie.
If it was Bree, it'd just be like, fuck yes, let's go.
I recently rewatched it. It's very good.
But like I think she had only announced like 1 or 2 of the first couples. They hadn't even gone to Amanda Bynes yet. So whatever. All right, let's finish this movie podcast. Finally, let's take this Chevy to the levee.
What's your monthly question? Do you have a monthly question?
I do. So I forgot to ask on the last episode. So I'm 1 for 2 so far. But the monthly question I was asking was, if they were to make a teen movie about your time as a teen in high school, what would be the source material that they were adapting to fit it?
I do have actually some options already. I listened to the last episode, so I was able to think beforehand.
I am backlogged, unfortunately.
I have 2 options. One that I wish would be my movie,
and the rules were it doesn't have to be classic lit. It can even be like an action movie from when you were a kid. Or something.
Well, I had a very big action in high school. So
and the other one would be the one that is probably closer to what I had to deal with. One I want is Back to the Future.
Okay. Yeah.
And the one it's probably going to be is probably just 8th grade.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. And since I need to do 4, or at least that would have been the bit before I forgot last week, I'm picking some disparate ones. I did Dune the first time. And I think specifically Half-Blood Prince. I found a book once.
Yeah.
book.
I didn't know whose it was, but it had some interesting facts in there.
I'm going to change my answer to Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. I once found a dagger.
Yeah.
My best answer that I could think of recently was High Fidelity, but not John Cusack. I'm specifically Jack Black in the radio store, just walking around being the fucking worst person. Because that's kind of how I was in high school. It's like, oh, you haven't seen every Steve Buscemi movie? Like, are you dumb? I was gonna say, I recently said at work that I'm basically just planning on doing the latter half of my life like Jack Black. So I'm just gonna gain weight, get weirdly like physically comic, and have facial hair. This is all I can do. I can't get his beard.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's my second half, and I think I'm doing good so far.
Yeah, there you go.
If we're gonna do what I ideally would want, I'd probably want to do Jennifer's body.
As which character?
As Jennifer.
Okay.
There you go.
Because I just love I thought you only killed boys. I could go both ways.
Justice for Diablo Cody, as we end every episode saying.
She got a Tony, didn't she? Or something?
No, she just dated that guy named Tony. Yeah.
Super Yaki has a shirt that I really hope they bring back for Halloween. This says Justice for Jennifer's Body. Or Justice for Jennifer, I think. It's just, I don't know, it might be body, but.
That's a big internet obsession too, so it makes sense. Super
yeah,
Yaki
she did Jagged Little Pill. She won a Tony.
Oh,
that's right. Yeah.
Right, yeah, that's right, yeah. All right, full circle. We were talking about Elliot Page earlier.
Yep, there we go. Juno.
And now we have to bookend every episode with stuff related to Juno.
Minus the pregnancy part, I'm not unlike Michael Cera in Juno in high school.
Yeah, you did.
Were you on the track team?
No, but I was as weak.
There's no way you were like Michael Cera in high school.
I was worse.
Thanks for being on. We had Vaz, Sam, and Bree.
Woo!
Yeah. You can find us on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, iTunes,
Podbeans,
Google Podcasts,
Stitcher again,
Jeeves Podcasts,
iTunes if you want.
You go back to iTunes, see if it's still there. It is.
Use up his bandwidth on his site.
Yeah. You can go to the website for all these links that I always forget what the actual URLs are. That's Late to the Movies pod.fireside.fm. I think it's not cast. If pod doesn't bring you to the right place, put in cast, see what happens. And from there, you can find links to email Noah at latetothemovies@gmail.com. Our Instagram, I almost said LinkedIn, at latetothemovies_podcast on the Insta.
TeePublic?
On TeePublic, just search for the name of the podcast, find our storefront. We only have a couple shirts left. They are collector's items. They're going to go up in value really quickly. So you should buy as many as it allows you.
Greg's shirt's really good.
It is really good. He's never bought one, but I have left merch of it around his house. It's probably dissuading him from buying anything himself. And none of those statements are factual. So yeah, that just about does it. Yeah, there you go. That's it.
I don't have any. It ends in man.
Man.
It ends in man. It's not gonna work, but it ends in man.
We can try.
You can elongate the.
Oh, we're gonna have to. She's a man.
Yeah, it works. It works.